Hey, 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 good people. Excuse me. Tommy here. Glad to see y'all. That was a good stream Brian Stavely had earlier. Very good, as usual. Anyway, I'm sitting here eating some homemade mashed potatoes and about to have some mac and cheese too. Ooh, mac and cheese, please. All right. I tell you what I'm going to do is play a song or two, and we'll go from there. I do have a video. I smashed together 5 different videos and some interesting stuff for y'all to see and me to see and talk to y'all about. All right. Anybody wants to join me? I'm going to throw the invite in there in a little while after we get started, and we can do the damn thing. All right. Well, here's a song anyway, and I'm going to keep munching down. And I'm going to do gravity, a bucket bong at 4:20. That's another reason I'm starting early, so that I could, do my usual live bucket bong for y'all. All right. Thank you for being here. Hey, Carla. Hey, fam. Hey, Giggles. Hey, Michael. Everybody. Awesome. See y'all. Thank you. Here we go. Music time.
The things we seem to think we think are really not that major. There's problems in the world that we don't hardly understand. Yeah, we bitch about them, talking about we got the master plan. And the problem is we don't really even love each other. When we see it, brother, we just really tolerate each other. It's a cool world. It's time to face the facts. If we don't step up and make a stand, we gon' stay on our ass, man. The kids are on the news without a voice in this agenda. I don't trust the politicians much as I don't trust the system. Man, I used to think the country meant that united we stand. Now we dropping stuff a flag as if it's only just a brand. I ain't good with that. You good with that? Then we ain't the same, and that's fact. I'm a patriot and I'm proud as hell. I'm a country boy and I know it well. Around here we grind our ass off. We say shit with our mask off. If it don't sound right, then we're down to fight. So we never been one to be passed off.
This is the home of the brave. Many people won't agree. Your order just for busy being let on. All of that you can't control what see. Stuck between tomorrow and next week. That's why we're a mess. That's what's best for me. But as it stands, all the problems that we can't let be. Why they call it recall it? The land of the free.
I've rode bikes, I got scars, I've had fights, I've seen stars, I've got up, I've got down, I'm living my best life. I've seen the world crumble at the hands of a few. A whole lot of problems from my point of view. Trying to think positive, living my life, but the world keeps on promising struggle and strife. I'm lost in my hope and I'm broken inside, but this song is my freedom and battling cry.
This is the home of the brave. But there's so many people won't agree. No order cause we're busy being led on. While the deck we can't control what we see. We're stuck between tomorrow and next week. But it's right we're a mess, that's what's best for me. But as it stands, all the problems that we can't let be. It's why the body recalling the land of the free.
Hi, Susan. Good to see you. Brian Stavely in the house. What up? All righty. I'm just going to play a little bit more of one song here, and then we will get started. Just about ready here. The song's called Losing Time by Overtime.
You've seen a lot, maybe not seen it all, but I've seen enough to make a judgment call if I quit now. What did I ever become? I've been down, trying to make a little come up. I'm a new kid, trying to make a name for myself in a way that I know that I grew myself. From the bottom of the rocks, I came up out from a blackout. You can't keep me down, I'm a full-time work now. And the grind don't hurt now. I fought for this, so I don't offer this to get the volume turned down. I'm in a great place, so don't rock the boat. Don't fuck with me, I won't cock the boat. And we can make a way to be living great, and we can make it all rain, it's optional. I work too hard to make a fool of myself. Rose from the bottom, it all very well. Couple wrong turns and we're back at square one. We find out why we're living till we finally do some. I can hold my head high, no more tail lights. I'm finally back home in a place that I can call mine. Living on the interstate, passing all the benefits. Losing count of mile markers, trying to get some dinner fast. To make for working, running up the path. Motor mouth get talking, running out of gas. I'm bulletproof and a plan for you. Said my condolences and pray for you. I'm an outlaw and I get so far to make this quick up for a little break. And I'm only but a phone call away. I'm nothing but a phone call away. I've seen it, I've done it, I've seen some shit to make it all man break. I've drowned in the bottom of a whiskey bottle. Gone in the night when I go for throttle. Tell me out of my wildest dreams. I've seen them all and I cannot see. Trying to make it to your radio with a song that'll make you sit and think. I'm right to make it damn right to say I am right in front of my flight to take it in. Kick the bike it in, live the life again. Climbing out up like this, surviving it. I play from my heart and soul. Work more than bars of gold. We say with the beat play in the lead waves where the water's cold. And poison ivy like poison ivy like we ain't trying to be fucked with. We got more time in this old road than this old road have been trucked with. So we can take the way that we were meant to take it. We can go the story untold. My mind is on this step of vibe and I'm trying to break the mold. It's game time, so let's aim high and let's watch the future unfold. Some sick and tired of seeing it too hard to be this and I can be bold. So fuck what anyone say. Your grind ain't anyone's thing. You stopping up and keep popping up and keep washing up with that gold. And it's too too late for walking, running up the path.
Excuse me.
Running out of gas. I'm a bulletproof and a flame for you. Said my condolences and pray for you. I'm an outlaw and I get the water make a quick love for a little break. And I'm only but a phone call away. Nothing but a phone call away.
All right, good people. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I love the buoyancy bong too. The pressure bong, the bucket bong, the fake gravity bong. Oh dear. Good to see you, Karen. Good to see all of you. Woo, woo, woo. Excuse me there. So yeah, I've got some wedding cake. I don't know if any of y'all have ever had that strain before, but wedding cake, pretty strong strain. Got some of that coming in a little while. Tell me truth. I try. I definitely. Honesty is my policy and the best policy. Carla. I look forward to us doing a show again sometime, Carla. Yep. We used to have some fun until the haters, but good to see you. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and start this this video that I smashed together has let me check it out here. I'm on my notes. This video is 5 parts long. It's an hour long. The first part is your memory correct? And these are all fairly recent videos made by people that have a theory on the Mandela effect, or want to share their stories and opinions on it. So yeah, the first part is your memory correct? The second part is how the Mandela effect has been brainwashing everyone. That's going to be interesting, isn't it, guys? How the Mandela effect has been brainwashing everyone. All right. Part 3 is the Mandela effect and timeline jumping. The fourth part is some Mandela effect proof that somebody wants to show. And the fifth part is going to be the future memory and Mandela effect connection. So there you have it. And I got you. Yeah, enjoy your vacation with Tim, no doubt. Not trying to rush Tim back to work or anything. I'm sure he enjoys his time with you and you with him. So all good there, Carla. So yeah, is your memory correct? We're going to go ahead and start with that, and then I may stop it at points and talk about it or whatever, or wait till afterwards. It's all good. But here we go. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh yeah, I do got a screen share. Must screen share first, Tommy. Da-da-da. Here we are. Hope y'all can see. Okay, get rid of those. And here we go.
That quote has been wrong my entire life?
No, you edited it! You edited it! No way!
So Brandon,
Yes.
do you know what a Mandela effect is?
Yeah, it's like it's a thing that you think is true but isn't, but other people remember it the same.
So before we jump into our game, let me explain this.
Okay.
A Mandela effect is when people start to remember an aspect of culture differently than the way that it actually occurred. So common examples of this, Star Wars, people think the line is, Luke, I am your father.
Is it not?
It's not.
What?
The line is, no, I'm your father, because it precedes a question. Yeah. Blew your mind, right? Well, also, okay, so we have another example, too, before we even jump into the game. So Pikachu's tail, which of these is correct? People often get it wrong.
Don't tell me it's the one on the right. It's the left, right?
Nope, it's the one on the right.
What?
Well, today we're going to be testing your, in general, movies and TV knowledge.
Oh man, it's gonna be trash.
Well, we're going to be seeing if you can spot the Mandela effect.
Okay.
You're a big movie TV guy, though, so you
I am.
Yeah.
This is my world.
We'll play a clip, and we'll see if you can tell us what aspect of the clip is perceived to be slightly different than the way that people remember it.
Okay, I'm excited to see what we have been misinterpreting in pop culture. It's E.T.
Don't see anything different so far.
It's a little creepy now that I'm looking back at it.
E.T. home phone.
Whoa! What? No way!
E.T. home phone.
Oh, as people always mix up saying phone home.
E.T. Oh my gosh, she's so cute here. E.T. phone home.
She's a cute little self.
E.T. phone home.
What has Drew Barrymore been doing lately?
So what in that clip could be a Mandela effect?
We remembered it as E.T. saying phone home, but E.T. said home phone.
E.T. does not say E.T. phone home. He just says E.T. home phone. And then I think just because the kids say it and it's catchier, that's what we all went with.
A finger? I don't know. I don't remember it being bedazzled.
E.T. says it backwards. And so everybody always says ET phone home when we do the finger, but that's not actually what he says.
Everyone thinks it's ET phone home, which I thought ET home phone. Because I was thinking beforehand ET phone home, and it's not that at all.
So while ET does say it at other points in the film, people often miscredit this moment as the moment in the movie is when he says the iconic line. In this classic scene, ET does not say ET phone home. You are correct. He instead says
ET home phone.
Home phone.
Yeah.
What? It didn't even translate in my brain.
It's really easy to think that that's what it said because the kids say it twice after, and your brain just is going to pick up on what's easier.
Yeah, that's easy to get confused because like ET home phone is like, all right, this is my landline. What are we saying here?
Next, we're going to be looking at another movie that's famous for one particular quote. This is Field of Dreams.
I've never seen this, but I'm pretty sure I know the quote. It's just so popular. I know the quote. It's going to be.
What's the quote?
It's like build it and they will come. It's going to be something like that.
Okay, let's take a look.
This kind of looks like Sign.
You mean Signs?
Signs? Is it Signs?
Look at that beautiful agriculture. Let's get rid of it and make a baseball field. Yeah.
Ain't nobody trying to walk in the corn.
He will come. There it is.
That quote has been wrong my entire life. The reason why I know that is because my dad constantly tells me that quote. He constantly tells me, build it and they will come.
Chelsea, I hate to break this to you. Your father is a liar.
I've been lied to my entire life.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever even seen this movie.
I felt like it said, if you MILF, it will come.
No. This iconic baseball movie does not contain the phrase MILF.
You sure that's not what I heard?
So similarly, just a word off in this clip. So most people think the iconic line from this movie is, if you build it, they will come.
Okay.
Not what he says, though.
Oh, oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
That's like some ASMR. Back when Star Wars was good.
Is this Empire or Jedi?
Neither. It's A New Hope.
Oh, it's Hope? Oh, okay.
Okay. I love the aesthetics in the ships.
They shut down the main reactor, but they destroyed the shore. This is madness.
All right, well, the one that's bothered me is I do not remember the other CP unit that was walking with them. Because I saw that and I was like, wait, where did he come from?
There were 2 C-3PO units or 2 protocol droids.
Is it the fact that there's 2 C-3POs? Because I'm very confused. I don't remember the other C-3PO. It's been a while since I've seen the first one.
We're doomed. They're doomed. We're doomed. No,
I can't. No. Huh. I didn't know there was another Mandela effect for this.
Let me ask you this. What color is C-3PO?
Gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
Gold?
Don't tell me he's silver or something.
Well, he's not all gold. He does, in fact, have a silver leg.
That's weird. Why has no one ever talked about this?
Why does 3PO have a silver leg?
Oh my gosh. Well, color me impressed.
To be honest, like, I was so focused on just like the character, I did not even look at his legs. I look up at the eyes, man. Always. I'm respectful.
It's kind of like in the new one where he just had a red arm. And then no one ever explained it.
Next, let's take a look at Jaws.
Ooh, okay. Jaws is actually one of my favorite movies, so I'm excited to see this.
Ooh, what is the major moment in Jaws that you can think of?
It's the line, we're gonna need a bigger boat, or we need a bigger boat, and I know it's not said how we think it's said.
You heard him. Slow ahead.
What is there, like no sharks?
It just looks like a bad idea. Just chucking out
Come on down and chump some of this
meat.
Dude.
Oh, so good. The music, everything about this movie.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
I remember him saying we're gonna need a bigger boat.
That was an iconic line. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh, we say we're gonna need a bigger boat, but he says we need another boat.
Yeah, it's you're gonna need a bigger boat. Not we're gonna need a. He's like, this ain't my problem. This is your problem, buddy. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
He said you're gonna need a bigger boat. I've always heard the phrases, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
That is exactly correct. Let's take another listen.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yo.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's crazy. I knew it was something about the line.
Literally most famous movies in the entire world. We're all misquoting. I've done it before. We all misquote this.
I feel like a lot of these come down to like poor enunciation, poor audio of these films, you know? We hear it as one thing, and the parts that we don't hear, we fill in ourselves.
In this neighborhood,
I love him.
For a neighbor, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day.
My mom made me watch it as a kid.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful.
Like, I'll be your neighbor.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor.
Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? No. He's supposed to say wonderful in there. I remember as a kid him saying, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a wonderful day in this neighborhood. Where is it? You edited this.
No clue. What?
Last time I remember seeing Mr. Rogers was so long ago, and when I was watching it, I don't even know if I fully registered the theme song.
Is it this neighborhood versus the neighborhood?
That is correct.
Yep. Nailed it.
Not only do most people get one particular word of his song wrong, the movie based on his life did as well.
No way.
So it's not a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's
a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to me, it's always been, it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a wonderful. Damn, I have a completely different Mandela. Whoa. The way I heard this as a kid was way different than here. To me, it's been, as a kid, I remember him saying a wonderful day.
I wonder how many people were actually mad about that. It's like, the movie is good, the title was wrong.
Next up, we're going to be looking at another TV icon.
Okay.
Judge Judy.
Oh, Judge Judy? Queen. I used to watch her every day when I used to sip school as a kid when I pretended to be sick.
Ooh, well then we might blow your mind on something here. Let's take a look.
You made one payment of $100 and you sold the horse to her.
Like that her gown is cute and has a little like
which means
flower color.
$1,400.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. Judgment's on the counterclaim for $1,400. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Hey.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
No, this feels wrong. This feels wrong. Where is the gavel coming down and saying, where is the gavel?
It's not there.
You edited it. No way.
Judge Judy has never in her career used a gavel.
You're joking.
Is it that she, like we thought she banged a gavel, but she does not bang a gavel?
That is correct.
Hey.
There's like one step that's missing, right? She hits a little bang bang.
I didn't focus on Judge Judy long enough to notice anything off.
I don't know. I was waiting for her to say like a catchphrase like, you just got juged.
One thing people always misremember about Judge Judy's show is she never actually uses a gavel.
She doesn't.
Let's play the clip one more time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
See if you can tell me if you can hear it.
We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Oh, it's just the music. Dun, 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 dun. That's it. That's my gavel. The music is my gavel. Look at her. She's a bad bitch.
Maybe they thought the dun 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 was like so dramatic that they didn't need a gavel. They didn't have it in the budget.
I feel like I've seen GIFs of her using a gavel, but you know.
No, you haven't.
I guess I have not.
No, that's wrong.
You want to hear it again?
No, that's wrong.
I'm more fascinated by how we change these one words that change the meaning of things. I appreciate writers so much more in this moment.
They lied. They lied so much.
Yeah. Why do you think we do this?
I don't. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
No, it's not.
I give up. Bye.
Thanks for watching us find the Mandela Effects on the Reaction.
Subscribe and hit the bell for more shows like this.
Bye, guys. Or did I say bye, girls?
Hey guys, Ethan here from the React channel. If you like this episode and want to talk more about all these Mandela effects, then be sure to follow us on Twitter at FBE. Come join the conversation, tweet out some of your favorites, or let us know of other Mandela effects that you know of. Bye, guys.
Memory. By many accounts, memory is what makes
Did y'all enjoy that or what? It was kind of neat to see those people reacting to all of them. So we're gonna go on with the next part here in just a minute, but thank you all for being here. I see you all. I see you, and appreciate you definitely. And shout out to all my subscribers. I just hit 400 today. I'm at 400 or 401 right now. That's pretty cool. I do appreciate it very much. I've been on YouTube for 11 years. I've been putting stuff on for 10 years, something like that. I don't know. And I was stuck at 70 something for 10 years. So it's great to expand a little bit and get to know so many great people in our community. We are the best. We are blessed. And yeah, thank you, Machine Monkey. All right, so how you doing, Christian Knapp? Yo. I really appreciate your live streams, man. I wanted to call in the last couple times, but you got great callers all the time, so I'm happy just to listen to their stories and testimonies too. So I want to get a call-in show here too, so that all of us can call in, you know, and discuss, you know, all these topics that we discuss. And I don't know if Voynich is in here, but I told him he could join me. Anybody else that's, you know, joined me before, there's the link if you want to join me on this. But I'm going to go ahead and start this other part, and I'm going to finish eating this mac and cheese I've got, and then we'll talk some more. So, again, appreciate y'all. I'm going back to the show here. I'm going to mute my mic.
React channel. If you like this episode and want to talk more about all these Mandela effects, then be sure to follow us on Twitter at FBE. Come join the conversation, tweet out some of your favorites, or let us know of other Mandela effects that you know of. Bye, guys.
memory. By many accounts, memory is what makes us, us. Our sense of self, according to many philosophers and scientists, is informed by what we remember and don't remember. But what does it mean if everyone around us misremembers the exact same thing?
I forgot I wanted to tell y'all, this is the second part that is that they named how the Mandela has been brainwashing everyone. I only watched a few minutes of it, so like half or more of this I'll be watching with y'all for the first time. So these people are saying that the Mandela Effect has been brainwashing everyone. This should be interesting. All right, and Voynich is in the house. Come on in, Voynich. You know we can have several people anyway, so just come on in, brother, whenever you want to, and anybody else. All right, here we go. I'm going back to it, but these people said that the Mandela Effect is brainwashing people. Imagine that. Let me mute real quick. Sorry, got to mute.
Today's topic will be covering a widely known phenomena that's swept the internet in recent years. We'll be covering just a few common theories. We're just trying to see what the most likely answer is. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. You might already have an idea of what we're talking about today. It's the Mandela Effect. If you are otherwise uninitiated into the world of the Mandela Effect, it's a term used to describe a collective, culturally ingrained false memory, or when a large number of people's long-term memories contradict recorded history. For example, do you remember what accessories the Monopoly Man is wearing? What does Darth Vader say to Luke Skywalker? Is it Berenstein or Bernstein Bears? What causes this unnerving and sometimes scary phenomena? The term itself was created by paranormal consultant Fiona Broom at the 2010 DragonCon. She discovered that a great number of the folks she was slated to speak with at the conference had the memory of Nelson Mandela dying in the 80s, when in reality Mandela was imprisoned by the South African government until 1990. He was released and continued on to become the first president of South Africa in 1994, eventually passing away in 2013. The effect likely existed prior to Broom's experiences, but she gets credit for coining the term and popularizing the discussion online. There are a great many of these floating around the internet, and you've probably seen or heard a few of them. For example, which color is chartreuse?
Oh, it's the pink one. It's the pink one.
Wrong. It's green. What does the evil witch say to the mirror in Snow White?
Easy. It's mirror, mirror on the wall. My boy Snoop says so.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
And he knows what's up. What?
Wrong.
Really?
She says magic mirror on the wall.
No way. Prove it.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Touché.
How many states are there in the United States?
I am Abe Lincoln, the vampire hunter, and I say 51.
Well, I'm Sauron, the president of Mordor, and I say 52.
Well, I'm a real president, George Washington, and I do declare you both wrong.
It's 50. What do you remember? And does it align with reality? If it doesn't, don't fret. You're not alone. But what in the world is happening to our memories?
There are many explanations to root through. Some of them are more credible than others. Some suggest that the Mandela effect is caused by alternative scientific phenomena, which are all, and I must emphasize this before I go any further, completely unfounded and cannot be proven using the scientific method. That being said, they're way more fun than what's probably going on. One of the more popular theories hinges on the idea that our incorrect memories are actually correct memories of a different timeline. Broom stipulates that maybe staring at the TV back in 1988 or whenever, we slid forward to 2013 and saw Mandela's funeral on TV. And a blink, perhaps literally, later, we were whisked back to 1988. Others argue that these effects are just byproducts of time travelers tweaking history for monetary gain. There are those who attribute the effect to quantum computing. Web company Gaia says, as quantum computers interact with the various states of the atomic and subatomic particles within their spheres, they affect other particles within the realities of different dimensions, which is a bunch of technobabble that doesn't mean anything to anyone. The most fun or buck wild theory posits that CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, is using their Large Hadron Collider, which discovered the Higgs boson in 2013, to knowingly manipulate black holes to create space-time loops to further their own nefarious intentions or some other science fiction humbug. This hilarious hypothesis is so prevalent that many come to refer to the Mandela effect as the CERN Mandela effect. Okay. This is all to say that these theories are super fun to think about, but when we try to apply them to the real world, they lose their clout. The scientific method requires a hypothesis that can undergo replicable testing, but since all these theories depend upon assumptions that are untestable, they have little to no scientific standing whatsoever. If time travelers aren't manipulating the world to their benefit and CERN isn't controlling our minds, what might actually be behind the Mandela effect's widespread influence? It is far more likely that the fallibility of memory is behind why so many people go through the exact same disconnect with reality. Daniel Schachter, PhD of Harvard University's Psychology Department, has outlined what he calls the 7 deadly memory sins. Schachter identifies them as the sins of transience, absent-mindedness, blocking, misattribution, suggestibility, bias, and persistence. Transience is a memory sin of omission, defined by the fading of memory over time. It's one of the simpler sins. You forget things as time goes on. Next is absent-mindedness, which occurs when we forget something because our mind is not focused on what we need to remember, like misplacing an important document because you were too concerned thinking about what was going on at work. Blocking is when you attempt to recollect something, but the memory escapes you.
Like when you can't remember an actor's name, like when I forgot Tom Hanky Panky's name in that movie we watched the other day. Hey, what was it? Damn it.
It's
Shut up and let me do this. What's an F?
The fourth is suggestibility. The idea is that a person can influence how you remember something by asking leading questions that input information that may or may not be relevant or true. This sin is easily abused by individuals in positions of power, like police officers or journalists attempting not to find the truth, but get an answer that fits their narratives.
When you were throwing away my old yoga mat, did you spill your coffee on the living room couch?
I never spilled my coffee on the couch.
So you admit you threw away my old yoga mat?
Next, we have misattribution, a memory sin in which you recall information but forget where you obtained it. This sin is particularly dangerous, as it can lead to one incorrectly assuming inaccurate information comes from a reliable source. Bias is the act of rewriting our memories to fit into the values that we hold in the moment of remembering, like thinking about your childhood. If you look back in anger, you'll remember moments differently, and vice versa. Last, we have persistence, probably the worst. Think of the last time that you were laying in bed, remembering some embarrassing thing you said, but no matter what you do, you can't stop reliving that moment over and over.
Forrest Gump. That's the movie.
These memory sins are likely the source of why we encounter so many of these misrememberings. What might start as a simple misunderstanding, over time, fades through transience, morphs through bias, and finally congeals into a false memory. And only when we are confronted with the truth,
you can't handle the truth,
do we realize that something has gone wrong. This is called confabulation, otherwise known as the replacement of a gap in a person's memory by falsification that he or she believes to be true. Under the right circumstances, any and all of the sins mentioned before can lead to this. It's also possible that many Mandela effects are just misinformation. One mistake by one person with a Facebook page or a YouTube channel informs thousands. They inform the other people around them, and sooner or later you have a massive group of misinformed people. Then if one were to present them with the corrected fact, they might experience a Mandela effect. Psychology professor Theodore Flournoy invented the term cryptomnesia to represent ideas that originate in memory but appear to be original to the individual conjuring up the idea.
Well, that explains why Grill thinks he's the one who invented the dab.
You mean my yash? The cool move I made up on the spot last month?
It's a dab, okay? It was created a while ago, and the people who did invent it, they don't even do it anymore.
As you can see, it's possible that cryptomnesia too plays some part in the Mandela effect. It's also useful for us to bring up confirmation bias as a possible reason why so many of these effects have cropped up in recent years. According to Raymond S. Nickerson, PhD of Tufts University, confirmation bias is the act of seeking or interpreting of evidence in ways that are partial to existing beliefs, expectations, or hypothesis in hand. For example, if one believes that all birds are actually government surveillance drones, which is obviously false, confirmation bias would be the act of searching for drones shaped like birds to log as evidence to prove their theory and ignoring the existence of, actual birds.
Obviously, birds are real, bro. However, I'm not so sure about those quote-unquote giraffes.
Confirmation bias plays a very important role in alternative science theories for the Mandela effect. If one already believes in supernatural explanations, they are more likely to interpret evidence in ways that prove their theories. There are a great many possible explanations as to why we experience the Mandela effect, but there haven't been any clinical studies on why this occurs. So it's really all just speculation. Still, some speculation is more reliable than others.
Does the Monopoly Man have a monocle or not?
He doesn't have one and never has.
Oh, man.
Who gives a damn about Monopoly Man? What I do know is that Darth Vader definitely says, Luke, I am your father. I love that movie. Best Star Wars.
I have a bad feeling about this.
No. I am your father.
That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be Brew.
No. No.
And lastly, is it Berenstain or Bernstein?
I know this one. It's the Berenstein Bears. Berenstein.
The Berenstain Bears.
Oh, pardon my French, but this is bull beep.
Maybe the Mandela effect is just confabulation. Maybe it's just that we're not paying close enough attention. Hey, it could even be converging timelines. But even the great Fiona Broome, who coined the term herself, is well aware of the flimsy credibility of alternative scientific theories. She says, my memory is at least as fallible as everyone else's. And whether those explanations are credible is another matter, and in the eye of the beholder. So at the end of the day, just keep up the search for answers, and make sure that your ideas are really your own. Because really, if we can't trust our own memories, what can we trust?
By the way, bro, I've been meaning to ask, is that a new hat? I like it, but I never pegged you as a hat guy.
What? I've always worn this hat. Weird that you just now noticed. Weird that you just now noticed.
It's the Mandela Effect.
Converging timeline. Converging timeline. Oh, birds are actually government surveillance drones.
It's the Mandela Effect.
Weird that you just now noticed. Weird that you just now noticed. Weird that you just now.
Hey, bonus question. Is it pronounced capillary or capillary? I've been told there's a wrong answer by the internet.
USA! 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 USA!
Hey guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel.
I'm trying. Hang on. Whoa. I'm having trouble here. Hang on, Voynich. What in the world?
Hey, man.
Are you in?
Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I can. Yes. I got you. Hey, so were you watching or listening to that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw that one.
Watch? Yeah, that they tried hard to, debunk it for sure. What
Yeah,
do you do?
they don't.
These aren't stupid people. They're getting paid, aren't they? I mean, they're not stupid. They probably believe in it, but they're just making money, right? I would think.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't mention the residue.
exactly. Yeah, that one doesn't. Because the name of that one was how the Mandela effect is brainwashing everyone. So
Brainwashing is not something that just happens upon you. It's a continuous effort by a group of people or by one person. So it's not something that happens to you. So it's total bullshit.
Right.
I mean, the brainwashing is them. Of course, again, it's them saying what they do, but portraying it, projecting their behavior on other people. And with this projection, they will defy that group of people or that person. It's the same trick. It's always the same trick.
Somebody asked how you're doing. Let's see, who was it? Tell Me the Truth asked how you're doing.
I'm better. My stomach is not hurting anymore, so that's okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we got 16, 17 people in here, and need to connect. Karen, the Apple Man, aka Colin Matthews. Plenty of people here, good people, our usual people, and maybe some new ones too, but Machine Monkey and so on. Definitely always appreciate you people. So this next part is called the Mandela Effect and Timeline Jumping. And it's this woman talking about her opinion on it all. So we'll watch that here in a minute. So yeah, it's been raining here all day. It got up to over 70 degrees though.
Okay.
But now, I thought that Australia was having a scorching summer, but apparently they haven't had a scorcher this year, because we always base their summer that they have during our winter on how our summer in the U.S. will be.
Yeah.
And apparently, other than the fires, I mean, they've had some weird summer, not a scorcher. I just wonder if, because he said, Ahmad said the other day that he even had to put a jacket on at one point. And so I just wonder, do you think there's a mini ice age of any kind in our future?
I don't know that. I know that that my country, the Netherlands, and most countries above the Netherlands have had a tiny ice age in the 1700s. In the 18th century, so 1700s.
That's
there was like ice, like not in high summer, but in spring and in autumn there was ice everywhere. And that was also the time that these maritime laws really set foot on the ground, so to say. It's a strange thing to say about maritime laws, but the ice is the water. So you couldn't rule people on the water because you rule people on the land. Yeah? The regulations go for the land and not for the water. So everybody could do what they want on the water. The priest couldn't say anything. They could do anything. They could sin on the ice. So it's a special time for us. Yeah.
Sal says hi to us. Karen's in the chat. Suzanne. Yeah, man. So I just, I wonder if they know that there's an ice age coming, and now with these chemtrails that they're trapping in the heat, are they worried that we're gonna, are they worried we're going into a mini ice age, and not the fake global warming, increasing that they try to push, and made all that fake data for years, whatnot.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting, I think. And certainly there have been other mini ice ages, like you just said, in your region years ago. Yeah, it's interesting to see how that plays out.
I don't know if there's an ice age coming, but there's an age coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're definitely entering. Yeah, we're at the end of the church age. I will say that every time. If need be, that I definitely believe we're at the end of the church age. We're at the falling away time, and the days of Noah, the days of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah, all that stuff is going on. And certainly even the tapping into the other side, like they're trying to do, tapping into the sorcery, witchcraft, all that kind of stuff they did back then too, and the Tower of Babel and all that kind of stuff, so yeah, history repeats itself, does it not? Maybe not exactly, but in the same, kind of ways, normally. So yeah, we're definitely entering a new age for sure, and it will be dramatically different than what we grew up knowing, us here alive now, at some point when it's finished, yeah. And I will keep hammering it down that the Mandela effect and the Bible scripture changes are huge proof that we are about to have a climax of something, or a beginning of something huge. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So when you were growing up, did you see the moon with all these weird looks, the devil horns and smiling faces, whatever, and the moon out in the day as much?
Oh yeah. I always known that the moon was also there during the daytime, and it's logical because if you know the route that the moon takes, it must shine by day too.
Right.
It's yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't remember it. I do. I just I don't know what it is, but I mean, yeah. But the sun is definitely different for me. I certainly remember the orange yellow sun all day. Not just at sunrise and sunset. So that's a big thing for me. The sun during the day is certainly almost opposite of what I remember, and that's crazy. And and it just seems to be getting worse too. And here I am, just hoping and praying that in a few weeks here, I'm not going to be having to hide from the sun, because I've been allergic to the sun, the spring sun, for the last 6 years. People think I'm a vampire or something. I'm like, look, I don't enjoy it, and I just have to either stay in the house or cover up completely, because any part of on my body that the sun hits, I'll have an allergic action to. I'll get hives, and and if I stay in the sun, it just gets worse and worse and more painful. So yeah. So what's up with that? It's got to be, and they tell me when I go to the hospital a couple times with it, that it is the sun, that I'm definitely, it's definitely sun related. The UV rays have gotten a lot higher, if nothing else. It has something to do with how extreme the UV rays are now. Down here, they're like a 10, 11 from spring till fall, man. I mean, it's like a huge chunk of the year we're at the max of the UV, the chart that they come up with, themselves, whatever. So could be even higher, but yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, the sun is definitely more bright and more white than it used to be. Yeah.
Yep. Oh man. So I guess we'll go ahead and watch this next part here. Like I said, it's called the Mandela Effect and Timeline Jumping, and this girl's theory on it. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna mute my sound. You can or not, whatever. And I appreciate you being here, brother, and everybody in the chat room. Chemtrails reflect as the sky. Chemtrails reflect as the sky as white as the snow that sunburns. Okay, yeah, that makes sense too. But it's not a sunburn that I get. I don't get a sunburn. I just immediately start getting hives when I'm in the sun. Just like if I took something I was allergic to, I would just start breaking out. Like I'm allergic to hydrocodone or Lortabs, Vicodin, that painkiller, breaking out the same way if I were to take that, as if I went in the sun in the spring. All right. So anyway, all right, hold on. Well, now we're getting some people talking about the sun, so I'm gonna wait a minute. The sun I grew up with was yellow. Yes. I agree. It was for me too. And Boyd says the same thing. It's not that the sun is white; it's that there's white powder everywhere in between. So what do we think about that? The nanofibers and the chemicals of all sorts, the heavy metals, and yeah. I mean, there's something to that, definitely. And yeah, Karen, I'm gonna hit the bong in 17 minutes at 5:20 here. 5:20. I will hit the bong. I've got one packed, and I could hit it now, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, and I'm trying to keep myself a little less medicated at the moment, because I've got some new stuff coming called wedding cake. It's a hybrid strain, and that's on the way as we speak to my house. I called for delivery, so yeah. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna go back to this this thing here. I'm gonna mute my thing. Thank you, people. Thank you. All right.
I wanted to talk about it I've been noticing lately, and it has to do with jumping timelines, which I've talked about in the past with theory energy update, but it's been kind of happening in a different way. So this isn't really deja vu, really. This is more like time blips or alternate realities. So kind of how I've been experiencing this is both within myself and in the people around me have been having these effects as well. It almost feels like all of a sudden you blank out, you forget how to do something, you don't know what's going on, like you have no memory, like like Gandalf, I have no memory of this place. It's like this weird blanking moment, like a blank, like you go blank for a second and then you kick back in. And also, in addition to that, I've also had really weird, I'm noticing things that seem different. Like I could have sworn that I picked that up and I moved that there, and then all of a sudden it's not where I put it. And I'm noticing that there's things on my body that look a little bit different than they did the day before. And I wake up and I'm like, what? How is that possible? I'm still me, I'm still in the same body, but it looks a little bit different and I can't quite put my finger on it. And little things like that, just little tiny throughout the day, weird sort of happenstances. And I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. And what I'm associating this with is timeline shifting. So when we go through really big shifts in our consciousness, we basically jump timelines. So this can happen in the extreme when we have like a timeline convergence, which is what I associate with deja vu. And then in other circumstances, it's a timeline jump, which is where you quite literally just move to a whole different timeline and you're still you, but you're in a different like alternate reality, if you get me. So like you still associate yourself with you, everything kind of remains the same, but there may be little tiny changes that you can notice and you might kind of brush them off and go, oh yeah, I'm just imagining that, or oh, that was always like that, but it wasn't. And this is kind of where the whole Mandela effect theory comes in. Like I'm seeing this on very small scale day-to-day occurrences for myself, but when you look at the Mandela effect, this is worldwide. This affects everyone, or at least those of us who have jumped timelines. So for example, one of my favorite Mandela effects, because I'm such a Disney fan, is the fact that Disney used to have an S on the end of it. It used to be Disney's Lion King, Disney's Cinderella. And you go back in the history books now, and that's not true. It's now always been Disney and then the name of the movie. And I distinctly know for a fact that it was Disney's. And another one is that related to Disney, for those of you who are Disney fans like me, there used to be this Disney opening where Tinkerbell would come in and she would fly over the castle, and then she would go ding and she would hit the little eye with a sparkly thing, and then it would start the movie. And apparently that doesn't exist anymore. Like that's just not a thing. And you can research it, you can go and Google this on your own, but apparently it doesn't exist. It never existed. And there's a large group of people who remember this existing. So this is where we jump timelines. We've moved into an alternate reality where some of the people in that reality will have no memory recollection of this whatsoever because they weren't in the original reality. But those of us who have shifted consciousness move into this new reality, and all of a sudden we're like, wait a second, this is different. I remember this. And the most noteworthy and the most famous Mandela effect, well, besides the actual Mandela incidents, where half the people believed that he had died in jail, but he actually didn't. And he lived for years and years after that. There's also the Berenstain Bears. And I know for one, for me personally speaking, I remember distinctly, I had so many of those books. I used to read them every night. And even my mom remembers that it was Berenstain with an E at the end. Well, not at the end, but in E-I-N. And now it's A-I-N, Berenstain. And that's just wrong. Like, that's just wrong. But again, it's an example of timeline jumping. And it's very hard to comprehend how this can happen because we're still in a physical body. We're still in what appears to be the same place. We're still what appears to be the same world. But our consciousness has kind of slipped into an alternate reality because it matches that altered frequency. And I noticed that these things happen around really significant points in my consciousness, in my awareness. So for example, the last few days around the full moon, I was having some pretty serious shifts in my awareness. Like I felt things differently. I'm seeing things differently, and I'm seeing myself differently for the first time in my 30 years on this planet. And that's really, really significant. Like for the first time ever, it's like the lights went on in an area of my life that they had been dark. So that right there is, to me, quantifiable evidence as to how these shifts happen. We go through massive shifts in consciousness, we shift timelines, we get little blips and things like that that don't line up, but that's okay. And it's actually a good thing. So if you're experiencing these things, please know that it's normal. It's nothing to be freaked out about. You're not going crazy. You're not having a psychotic break. You're not losing your memory. You're not going through some pre-menopausal, or maybe you are menopausal, but that's okay too. These things are still real. It doesn't take away from that fact. So I hope that you guys are kind of on the same page as me. And if not, then that's totally fine. But I highly recommend that you go and research this effect if you haven't already. I feel like most of you who are on this channel are pretty far sort of down the rabbit hole with me. So you probably know about the Mandela effect already, and timeline shifting and deja vu and all that good stuff. But if not, then oh, honey, you got some research to do. It's going to be an interesting day. Much for listening, guys. I love you. I'm just going to leave it there for today. If you guys would like a reading with me or a Reiki session or any services that I offer, you can check that out in the description box below and email me at services.2kittyandbeyond@gmail.com. I thank you so much for being here, for listening through this channel with me, supporting the channel support. My work.
Oh, and what do you think?
Yeah,
Are
well,
you muted? Are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I can. I
Hey,
got you.
yeah, she should. She certainly did a research.
Yeah.
I have an echo from you.
Okay, let me turn it down. All right, so well, I guess we'll go on this next part, and I might stop it to do a hit because I think this next part's 10 minutes long or so. Thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate you. Zebzo, Ryan, and Fred, and there's many more. Right. We're still screen sharing, I guess. So let me mute.
Of your soul journey.
I want to do a video about the Mandela effect today. And I really struggle with these. It's so much easier to just dance. But I want to do this because I think it's important. I think that this logo here, the old Fruit of the Loom logo, old, is the closest thing that we have to proof of this phenomenon, at least as close as proof can get, because you can't prove or disprove memories. False memories are definitely a thing, but I don't think that I'm remembering this little weird basket on this logo as a false memory. Now the logo is just the fruit with no basket behind it.
And I've talked to quite a few people about this. I'm going to say probably around 50 or so people, a fair amount of people. And everybody that I've talked to either remembers that, yeah, I used to have this basket, or they don't remember at all. I haven't come across a single person that's like, nope, it's just the fruit. It's always been just the fruit. That's how I remember it in the 90s and the 80s. That's how I remember it. For me, I remember it changed. I assume they just changed the logo at some point in the earlier mid 90s, which I think is weird because my wife clearly remembers that it still had this basket thing in the mid 90s. And, I was talking with people in the comments section about this, and why it's so powerful for me is because I have a clear memory of asking my mom when I was about 4 or 5 years old, Mom, what's that weird basket thing on the tag of my underwear? And she told me it's a cornucopia. So I think it's very bizarre to have a false memory of learning a word. I don't see how I could possibly misconstrue that in my head. It makes sense to me that maybe people are getting like the Monopoly guy's monocle confused with the Planner's peanut guy monocle. I could see how that could happen. I don't think that's what's going on, but it makes sense to me. There's a lot of evidence that there's something weird going on with the Fruit of the Loom logo. A lot of people have really done their homework on this. I have not. Channel Need Input, fantastic videos on this. He actually went to the trademark registry website and found out that, according to that website, which is like an official government website or whatever, it's always been just the fruit. But in the description, they describe the elements of their logo as including a cornucopia or a horn of plenty, which is just bizarre. So for me, especially with this Mandela effect, false memory is just not an option. I've definitely had false memories. There have been things that like, no, I remember that. And when I look back into it, it's like, oh, I remembered it wrong. So false memory is definitely a thing, but I don't think it explains all the Mandela effects. So if it's not false memory, what is going on here? A lot of people think that it's CERN. They think when CERN does their particle collision experiments, that the different subatomic particles, like they zoom out, they go to parallel realities or whatever, and as that happens, those particles like zoom through your skull and you pick up a memory of an alternate reality and it replaces the real one. That seems plausible to me, but I don't think that that's what's going on with the Mandela effect, because if that were what's going on, I think we would see a lot more chaos. I think that pilots would be crashing planes and stuff because they're remembering airports being in the wrong place, stuff like that. And that doesn't seem to be happening. So what's going on here? I think that the movie that's come out recently, yesterday, starring, I don't know, some guy. Anyway, it's about a movie about a musician in England, and he gets into a bike accident. And when this happens, like the electricity goes out all around the world, and he wakes up in the hospital, and the band, the Beatles, has never existed. So he starts recording the Beatles songs that he remembers and becomes a wildly successful musician. And I think that something like that may be going on. I think that rather than CERN or false memory, we don't really understand reality. I think there are infinite realities, and what we experience as time and movement are illusions. I think that the multiple realities are almost like pages of a book or like frames of a movie. And each moment we go through billions of these. And I think it has to do with the Planck distance. Like in theory, if you cut something in half, cut something in half, cut something in half, you should be able to do that infinitely. Like as small, it just gets smaller and smaller. But it turns out that there's a limit. You can only cut something in half so many times before it's so small that you can't cut it anymore. And to me, that suggests almost like a pixel. And I think that that would seem like we're in some sort of simulated reality. And I don't think that's entirely correct either. I think it's more like some kind of collective dream. I don't know. That's for somebody way better at physics and math than me. So the other possible explanation that I've heard for the Mandela effect is that it's some kind of psyop.
Fucking psyop.
Yeah, I stopped it right there because it's time to smoke, and I can't stand when they say that shit. So, we'll probably fast forward it from that point. But anyway, yeah, let me get my cam going here so y'all can see me. I just got the wedding cake, guys. This stuff looks and smells amazing. Ooh, yes. It's been a while since I had that strain, but here I'll show y'all a nug. Here's a little tiny nug. Yeah. Ooh. Wedding
Nice.
cake. You want to bite a wedding cake. Slice of wedding cake. All right, so I'm gonna take this, and I had to dig out the green crack I had in there to put the wedding cake in there because I want to try the wedding cake. But the green crack was good too.
Well, I'm all out of weed, so no smoking for me tonight.
I got court in the morning, and I'm doing a bong hit right now.
So what are they going to tell you tomorrow?
Nothing. It's just arraignment.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the formal reading of the charges or whatever. Yes, nothing going on. Nothing going on tomorrow. Well, that was real smooth. Wow.
Nice.
I don't even feel a cough coming on.
Yeah.
I'll have to pack more in it next time.
Yeah.
All right. So, there's only one part left here for us to watch. And it's called The Future Memory and Mandela Effect Connection.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward past the psyop talk.
The future of memory. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. So thank
Buckle
y'all for being here. Carla, Karen, Zep, everybody. Thank you. Here we go. Mute.
It's our illusion. Some need input, and if you're of the mindset that it's some kind of Masonic psyop, I mean,
Here's the title written by PMH out.
that
It's very choppy, Tommy.
Reality is
Hello, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com, and I've got a very exciting idea to cover today, which has to do with bringing together the idea of future memory. Before there's a book by that title written by PMH Atwater, Mandela Effect, which also appears in that same book. But she has a chapter dedicated to reality shifts. That's the same thing, effects. And I had an idea of work of Philip, who was a author. He, 1977, to be to all of this. He gave it to Metz Frank 7. Title of his talk was, "If you find this world bad, you should see some of the others." And it's worth listening to the whole talk, watching it. Basically, the upshot is he's describing that we are, in some ways, living in a very positive reality. And there seems to be evidence of some orchestration behind the scenes of making some of these things come together. He brings up the point in his talk that we are accustomed to supposing that all change takes place along linear time axis from past to present to future. And he goes on to point out an orthogonal or right angle time axis could exist, a lateral domain in which change takes place, processes occurring sideways in reality, so to speak. This is almost impossible to imagine. How would we perceive such lateral changes? What would we experience? What clues, if we're trying to test out this bizarre theory, should we be on the alert for? In other words, how can change take place outside linear time at all, in any sense, to any degree? So these are the hypothetical questions posed to us by Philip K. Dick, and he is the author of some remarkable stories: Minority Report, The Adjustment Bureau, The Man in the High Castle, and also Blade Runner, very famous movie as well, and many, many more. He was extremely prolific. But what he wanted to do is raise this question, and he didn't stop there, just asking, how would this work? What would it look like? He then presented a metaphor of what it might look like. He provided the example of a wealthy patron of the arts who instructs the household staff every day to change the artwork that hangs by the mantle, by the fireplace. So before he has his dinner, the servants, the people that work there, take down the old picture, put up a new one. That continues for quite some time until one of them catches on, hey, we could make our lives a lot easier if we take one of the old pictures that's there and just change it a little bit. He just said he wanted something different. We'll remove a tree and add a person. And then Philip K. Dick says the employer enters his living room after dinner, seats himself facing the fireplace, and contemplates what should be, according to his expectations, the new picture. What does he see? It certainly isn't what he saw previously. But also, it somehow isn't, and here we must become very sympathetic with this somewhat stupid man because we can virtually see his brain circuits striving to understand. His brain circuits are saying, yes, it is a new picture. It is not the same one as yesterday, but also it is the same one. I think I feel on a very deep intuitive basis. I feel somehow I've seen it before. I seem to remember a tree, though, and there is no tree. So, what Philip K. Dick has just described so beautifully is what we notice when a logo changes, when the dialogue in a movie changes, when a book changes, body parts change. Often it's just one small thing, but it starts giving you this impression that there's something going on behind the scenes. And that there's something else I want to mention about Philip K. Dick, because he was very precognitive. He could see the future. He actually could foresee where his body would be found right before he died. He thought his dead body would be found between his sofa and his coffee table, face down on the floor. That's almost true. He had a stroke. He did fall there, exactly as he had envisioned and told people. But then the paramedics came. He was still alive, so they took him to the hospital. But that was pretty close description of how they would find him. In addition to that, Philip K. Dick seemed to be presentient and precognitive as well regarding all of this talk about false memories, because he was aware that people were being wrongly imprisoned. He was deeply concerned about freedom. And he therefore donated a great deal of money to the Southern Poverty Law Center. It was enough to help prevent wrongful imprisonment of people that did not commit crimes. And that was something that was near and dear to his heart. And as it turns out, the very same thing, false memories that are being ascribed to the Mandela effect, are also sometimes considered to be the underlying causal reason, resulting in erroneous convictions of innocent people that go to jail for crimes they did not commit. So you might think this is all very interesting. How does this tie in with my life? Good question. Well, I want to now go back to 1985 and the work of a medical doctor from Sweden, and all of the details will be in my blog post that you can click the link and go read it. But he noticed that we do have the ability, we humans can envision future events in great detail. Not only do we envision future memories quite naturally, it's just something we are good at, but we tend to hold on to those memories that tend to be more favorable, more positive, and perhaps a bit neutral in preference to those that are negative. Those detailed possible scenarios tend to get deleted out when we sleep or when we daydream, what have you. They just don't hold on to, like the other ones do. So it seems, if you just bear with me a minute, that we've got now the basis. We're looking at quantum physics, of course, because within quantum physics, you can influence the present and the past by the future. That's built right into quantum physics. That's not built into classical physics. So when we're looking at past, present, future along classical physics timelines, that's not what we're doing at all when we're in the realm of quantum physics, which turns out to be much more along the lines that I've described when talking about this wonderful book by Jerome Busemeyer and Peter Bruza about quantum cognition and decision making. Clearly, the same kind of quantum rules definitely would apply when we're thinking about possible plans for the future. We're envisioning them. We're good at that. And sometimes we get such clarity and such detail that the things we envision actually do happen. So until next time, I'd like you to keep asking my favorite question, which is how good can it get? And that's in connection with all of this, of course, with future memories, the Mandela effect, and all of our lives. Thank you so much. Take care.
Cynthia Sue.
So what'd you think of that?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It doesn't explain anything. Or does it?
I mean, she just saying, she's comparing to some books some guys wrote and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But, she is trying to push the quantum stuff, for sure.
Yeah. What do you think? She's legit, or you think she's a plant?
I mean, I think she's one of us. I don't think she's got a secret hidden agenda or anything. I mean, I think she wants to get to the bottom of it as much as anybody else. I don't know of a secret hidden agenda of hers that's evil or something. But that was a lot of theories we heard in those videos.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There's almost as many theories as there is Mandela effects.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But anyway, so yeah, Karen, I'm feeling fine. I got to go to court in the morning, but like I said, it's just arraignment, so that won't be a problem. But then after that's over with, I will have to start preparing to try and beat the case or whatever, or get the best outcome. I mean, it's definitely accidental entrapment at the very least, and it's really, really crappy, poor police work, But it's a combination of things, and poor judgment on my side too, assuming they were going to give me that scrap too,
Yeah.
But I have been scrapping since Hurricane Ivan, that came through here, and this is the first time I've gotten in trouble for scrapping. So it's I've met hundreds of people over the years scrapping, and really just over the last couple of years I've met probably that many. And I've never had any problems. And these people didn't want a problem either. The police were just too scared to knock on my door to settle it without, any trouble. And that's the sad part is that, I mean, good grief, man.
Well, I'm fighting the police too, and I'm not gonna admit one thing because I wasn't wrong in one thing.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is they are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, how can I go in there and plead guilty? That would mean it was on my heart to steal, and it wasn't.
Right.
So I am messed up with that, but I don't think tomorrow's a plea day.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah. But I was going to say, okay, listen, I was going to ask you and the chat here. Do y'all think I should change what my Facebook says that made all this happen because they got scared when they read it, and it says resistor of tyranny at independent freedom fighter. Does that sound too scary? Do you ask the police to come to your house with guns and SWAT team in the armored vehicles and blast grenade just because of that?
Well, I guess you wonder, but it shouldn't matter. It's not a reason. It's not a rightful reason to act that way. So they can never bring that to the table by saying, like, oh, well, here's resistor of tyranny, and we are your tyrants, so you cannot resist us. That's why we tyrannize. I mean, it doesn't work like that.
They proved my point, didn't they?
Right.
They are tyrants,
It's like being knowing that somebody's talking about you, and then the person telling you that you are paranoid. Yeah.
I'll start my cam, but I think it's the weather that I'm having issues that we're going through all that weather that went through Tennessee. And my heart goes out to Tennessee because my heart is still in Tennessee, in that area there. I lived in Nashville. I worked in country music in Nashville, and I lived in the outskirts of Nashville too. And matter of fact, I lived just a half a mile from the interstate for a little while there. I mean, from the airport, and I saw what happened to the airport. That was pretty crazy stuff. A lot of damage there. I also was involved in the 2010 flood of Nashville, and I was downtown visiting some friends during that flood when it got bad. And I said, I better get home. And I lived about 25-30 minutes away from downtown, and it took me a couple hours to get home because the flooding had already gotten so bad so quick, and I would turn down roads, and houses were completely underwater, and people were swimming away from their houses.
Wow.
I mean, because it was so fast. But the Army Corps of Engineers released too much water from through the dam and flooded Nashville. That's what happened. They flooded it, not the amount of rain. It's but anyway, they did it too. I've heard they blew up the levees, but they definitely, the Army Corps of Engineers definitely had a role in the overflooding of Katrina, into New Orleans. But anyway, pretty crazy stuff. So, what do we got going on, man? What's anybody got any new Mandela effects? I'm ready for some new ones. I'm just ready for some new ones to investigate and stuff, or see what's up with them. But I'm sure we ain't gonna be waiting long. There's gonna be some big Mandela effects coming again. Some big changes, man. My stepdad apparently is on Facebook now, and he liked on my cover page, which is 200 verses that prove flat Earth. And I asked my mom about it on the phone today. I was like, was he just trying to mock me or something? Like on it, like he saw it, and got a laugh or whatever. And I don't know, but you never know what he's thinking. But I don't know if I've told you, but my stepdad works for Hollywood. He helps make all these blockbuster movies that people go crazy over. Any of them that are filmed on the East Coast between North Carolina and New York, he has the chance to work on them. And he turns down movies all the time, but he does movies, commercials, series, and whatnot. He's in a union, so he's they have to give the unions, they have to hire the local unions, which he's a part of, to do movies. Anyway, but he thinks all these celebrities that he works around, all these movie stars and sports people and whatever, that those are real people and good people and smart people and successful everything. That's he looks at everybody else, including his family, as just being like chumps, just or the N word, like Brian was talking about, everybody's an N, to him.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah, that's how you get there, to separate yourself from other people. It's also like police officers also do this when they're in the police station. They're not civilians. They're calling you and me civilians. Oh, let's get some civilians. Like we're not people. It's the same in government. People in government also separate themselves from society and from the people. So yeah, it's the way to get up.
Yep. So my sky is really weird right now, fam, he says. Several trails were left, and then a plane right behind them. No trails. Yeah, I love when I see that, and I've got plenty of video of that too, where there's different planes, military jets, all kinds of stuff flying, and they're spraying at the same time. And then I, of course, love the ones where they stop spraying for 100 yards or whatever it is, and then they start spraying again. And that they're not turning their motors off, their engines off when they do that, because that would be dangerous. Missy wants to say hi to everybody. She jumped up here, so if y'all can see her. She's
I know Missy's Missy's last name is Sippy, right?
Yeah, I do call her that sometimes. And I'm not all that far from Mississippi. I could get to the casinos in Mississippi in a couple hours, but I don't. I've only been a couple times, and I'm not a gambler. Really. I've put $1 or $2 in a machine, but I've gone with friends before that wanted to go. But those were all ruined, during Katrina. All those Gulf Front casinos, they had to rebuild them.
Oh yeah,
a lot of money in that. But the house always wins. You'll have a few, winners here and there. You'll have some fake winners too. You better believe they fake winners too. Yeah. My mom has worked in a casino or two. My mom lived in Las Vegas for 10 years, half the year in Vegas and half the year in Virginia Beach. But she definitely knows Vegas like the back of her hand, and she even dated a small time movie star while she was out there briefly. He was a really big Indian dude, and he played in Con Air and a few other movies. I don't know, but anyway, I can't remember his name right now, but real big, tough Indian dude. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So what's going on, people? Yeah, casino's bad, gambling's bad. Yeah, it's just another addiction. It's basically proof that they are not contrails. Yes, you're right, fam. And the last plane was seconds after the ones that left trails, which are not mucking up the blue skies. By the way, yep. So you'll definitely see a variety of different planes, jet planes, commercial jets, whatever, airliners, and they'll be flying next to these Air Force or private jets that do the chemtrails. In the beginning, it was mainly just Air Force. I used to zoom in and see them every time, and it was Air Force for years. They got that red tail, marker on them and everything, and you could, I could see the Air Force symbols too. But, the Air Force. I like to tell people too, the Air Force has gone rogue. They are not, they have joined, they have merged with the science, like the federal science, whatever. I mean, so it's crazy. They've gone rogue plus merged with,
And the Army and the Air Force, they are here to win, right? And if there's no country to win, they're fighting humans, so they're gonna fight other humans. It's not like the war will stop when all countries have submitted. No, this war that's being fought now is against you, and it's against me. It's against free will. It's against free thought.
Yes,
and we are here. We are here now.
Exactly.
It's
hard to get people to see that, though. It is hard to get people to
My mother won't even understand it. I said, "Mom, this is a war." She said, No, it's not a war. I said, I've been bullied by the police for 3 years. They don't tell me anything. They don't arrest me, nothing. And you gonna say this is not a war? No, said that takes a long time. I said, no, that takes massaging, that takes propaganda, and it just takes one point at which they will say, okay, we will use this to start a war. This is how it works. First, you have to propagandize the people, make them scared, and everybody's scared now. You cannot even say what you like because you might offend somebody. Yeah. So it's here.
Yeah, I tell you, our community though is most of us we're so open-minded, and open to all the theories, and open to the Bible side of it too. And that's, to me, it's just so amazing, because you couldn't get that 10 years ago. Certainly not before that neither. And it just, there is so many of us now on the same page that it is just shocking but amazing, I agree when everybody says we're the best, but I always try to follow up with we are blessed too. It's a blessing, that we can see through the lies, and we can see through the the hype, this virus crap, man. I mean, it is so ridiculous, dude. They did the same thing with the swine flu 10 years ago, 11 years ago, whatever it was, 2009. Yeah. Everybody rushed out and bought masks. I even bought some masks, that I ended up having for years, slowly but surely used them for like lawn maintenance and stuff, whatnot. But, I mean, it's like, come on, man, we cannot fall for this crap, ever again. We got, I think as a whole, we've gotten really good at not buying into the vaccines. Their vaccine program in America has not gone the way they've hoped it does. Of course, it goes well in other countries because they scare the heck out of people and force it on them, all these third world countries and stuff. But there, for the most part, man, definitely there are a lot of people aware that vaccines are voodoo, or crap and toxic. So there's that, at least. But there's still a lot of people that do, obviously take them and trust them. But I'm very pleased with how many people, definitely see through that.
Yeah. Well, it's not enough yet, because there's still 60% of people will still take the jab, right?
Would you take the jab instead of going to jail or a FEMA camp? If they said you can stay in your house, but we got to jab you with this, stuff.
No, they'll have to kill me. I'm not going in a FEMA camp either.
Right. Oh man, but they'll get a lot of people that way. All right, I want to stay in my house. Go ahead and shoot me up with whatever you want to shoot me up with. And I mean, it's just, dude.
Or I'll jump. If they come to my house, I will just jump. Yeah. I know what they're up to.
Yeah. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but if they're really doing what they're doing to people in China.
But I know they're not going to kill me, and they're not going to jab me. I know. Yeah. And I'm also sure that when they do, they're going to be They're gonna be sorry. I know.
Well,
I know my creator will protect me. He's blessed me, and they might kill me. I know they will get their part of that. I'm sure.
Yeah. Wow. Oh dear. So 1 hour and 40 minutes seems like we've been on for longer than that. I don't know, but that anyway. So any no new Mandela effects in the chat room, huh? And none, you haven't discovered any local ones over there. What do you have any local ones over there?
No, well, I told you about Pippi Longstocking.
I know, but I'm talking about local, like you're in your neighborhood, in your community.
Nothing.
I mean, God, you don't see any changes, any geographical changes, no buildings popping up.
To me, it also sounds so fucking silly.
The building popping up overnight or something, yeah,
and disappearing. Yeah. Okay. It can happen.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, but I have to believe some of the people that claim that, though. I mean, some of them are pretty credible. That I've seen that have seen some. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying every one of them's correct. Because they can, some buildings they can put together pretty quick too. And you might have been gone for a week and make some prefab whatever. Yeah. Oh dear. So I guess I don't know, man. Anything you want to discuss? Anything else you want to?
No, man. No. I've got this conversation with the police coming up next Monday, and then I will have something to discuss.
Right. Well, I got to be at court at I think 8:30 in the morning, so not at least I'm not having to really face anything tomorrow, but still standing in front of a judge for the first time in a very very long time, is a little frightening, but yeah.
Don't forget that they are playing a game, and you are not.
That's right. Yep. No doubt about it. Karen says no ME for me, new except Phoenix, Arizona still sucks. Big toe jam. Oh boy. You could be in Arkansas. That would probably be worse. I don't know.
Hey, so what? We're going to round out the show now, or at least?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we are. I'm gonna play a song and head us on out.
Okay.
I believe. I appreciate everybody. I'll try to have more prepared for next time, and we'll go from there. I appreciate everybody. Cool. Appreciate you, Voynich, and I'm gonna continue to check out this wedding cake. Hey, today's my anniversary. I've been married 22 years, legally married 22 years to that psycho that tried to kill me and the kids.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, long time. I should have divorced her 17 years ago.
What? Sorry?
I should have divorced her 17 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's soon enough.
Yeah, I need to do it now. For another year comes around. All right, guys, thank you so much. God bless you all. Tommy here, Voynich here. We're out. Peace, everybody. I'm going to leave you with a song, and then that's it. I'll be back on. Woo!
I've been sober for the last 12 hours. I woke up from a crash and my pantry I devoured. I was trying to stay clean, but I guess I just cowards. But I borrowed more my clothes and I've been days without a shower. I suppose my liver hates me. I know my lungs are tired. I've been coughing up this crime and my brain is feeling fried. Like them sunny side eggs on that anti-drug commercial. I mix the white with the purple, blow my smoke out in the circle. My problems are internal. They show it on the surface. My girlfriend left me. My family thinks I'm worthless. I'm just trying to find my purpose. Tired of living like this. I'm just trying to rise above, but I can't get it like this. So I kiss my fist and punch a hole up in the wall. Need to focus on myself instead of hanging out with y'all. The ballroom in business, she yelled and called. Guess I'm dragging them all, but the dad took a fall. And so my heart is gone away. And everything good I'm away. Trying to make
Up for lost time, 'cause I've been lost for a long time. Memory.
And I don't even understand the reason why. Some days are easy, but some days
I just wanna cry for so long. Tomorrow I'll be back on. I'll be back on. I'll be back on.
I've been sober for the past 30 days. Just got a badge from my
Friends at CA.
I got a problem, and drinking's not my only toxin. I'm trying to shake it without a methadone or Suboxone. Yeah, I've been down that road, peeping out the windows, eyes open, eyes closed. Now I stay 10 toes, eyes to the sky, homie. I got a life to live, and I don't wanna die, homie. Been down through there, a roller coaster of emotions. Steady coping and hoping I won't succumb to doping. And when I'm down and out, liquor is my favorite potion. Just got the news that a friend of mine passed away. Landlord calling, my wrist way past late. I get the shakes and I'm searching for my escape. All room it is that she yelled and called as I'm tracking them all, but the dad took a fall. And so my heart's gone away. And everything good I've gone away. Trying to make
Up for lost time, 'cause I've been lost for a long time. Your memory, and I will never understand the reason why. Some days I just wanna cry for so long. I'll be back on.
I've been sober for the past 6 months. I ain't touched nothing, though I occasionally hit the blunt. I wrote my family, told them I was on the straight and narrow. I got a truck, got a job, and made a few dineros. I hope they're proud of me. I know that I'm proud of me. I lost 20 pounds, even watching what I eat. My wine bottles empty, but my work ain't long. I got work again tomorrow, but the day I stay strong. Inside my heart is gone away, and everything good I've gone away. Trying to make
Up for lost time, 'cause I've been lost for a long time. A dream, your memory, and I don't even understand the reason why. Some days are easy, but some days I just wanna cry. So long, I'll be still on.
I pray tomorrow that I'm still on. I've been sober for the past 30 days. Just got another badge from my friends at AA.
All right, good people. I sure do appreciate y'all. Uh-oh, another song starting.
How about this?
Appreciate you guys.